Okay, good day. This is a video tutorial on Revit, and my name is Frank Ilo. Today we shall be looking at how to set your levels on Revit. How do you go about opening your Revit in the first place? Just like AutoCAD or any other software, locate the icon on your screen and double click on it. Here you can find Revit 2017. Double click on it. And give it time to load. I hope I was able to click on that. Okay, it's coming up. So why am I making this video? I'm making this video so that when you get home, you don't need me to be there to refresh or to start the work. You can watch the video and do the practice. Okay, so you just give it time for it to boot. It's still coming up. Sometimes it takes shorter time than this. Sometimes it takes more time depending on the workload on your system. Oh my god, this is taking so much time. This is taking so much time. Wow. Okay, here we are. What you are looking at right now is what we call the welcome page. This welcome page comprises of the projects and the families. I'm not going to go into detail about all this, but just in a short form, the projects are the work or the projects you have done previously on your system. They are being displayed here. These four you are seeing here are the most recent 4 jobs I did on this system. Now, if I want to continue on any of these, you can see this one. This is a job I did for Mr. Wale. This is one I did for my fellow architect Mike. This is a job I did for Mrs. Modupe Ajayi. And this is a 5-bedroom bungalow I'm still working on right now. So if I want to start work on any of these 4, I just come to it and click on it. But because we are doing a fresh project, I shouldn't click on any of them. I don't know if you get what I mean. Now, what do I do? If I want to start a fresh project, I go to architectural template and click on it. Now, while these ones are called the projects, these ones are called the family. Family are just different components or different parts that make up a project. Just as you have a human being, you have the totality of the man. Then you have different parts of the man: his nose, his eyes, his legs, his ears. That is how, when you have a building, you have the windows, you have the doors, you have the roof, you have the floor. When all of them come together, it becomes a project. But when they are splitted into individual parts, that is what you have as your families. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yes.
So, for example, your furnitures, your doors, your windows can fall under your families. So I'm not going to go further than this. Now, let's go to the projects, which is the reason why we're here. I want to start a new project. What do? I click on architectural templates here. This is architectural templates. But if I want to see other previous project I have done in this project before, I click on open, you will see a place where they wrote open. The first option there is open. I can click on open. It will bring me to the previous jobs I've done before. But if I don't need any previous job, I want a fresh one, I click on architectural template and it will bring me here. This is what we call the user interface. The user interface. Now, on the user interface, you have different segments or different sections or different parts that make up the Revit architectural user interface. The number one is the what do we call this? We call this application menu. This capital letter R is called the application menu. If you click on the arrow beside it, it's going to bring down some things. For example, new, open, save, save as, export. For new, when you want to start a new project, you click on new. For open, like I told you before, when you see open, open means previous jobs, the compilation of all the jobs you've done in the past. If you click on open, all of them will come out. Then save simply means saving intermittently as you work. You keep on saving. But save as can be used to duplicate a particular file you are working on. For example, that job I was doing for Mr. Wale that I showed you, if I want to duplicate it and give it another name, whereby I am still retaining Mr. Wale's own. Are you getting me now? Yeah. If I use save as, I can use it to create two projects, one for Mr. Wale and I give the other one another name. But if you use save, or if you change the name, you alter the name of Mr. Wale with save, you cannot duplicate it. When you give it another name, Mr. Wale's name has totally been wiped out. Or if you want to duplicate, to retain the original one and still have a new one, you use save as. Then export simply means when you want to export your Revit work to another platform or another software like AutoCAD, Lumion, 3D Xmas, and so on and so forth. Then the next I have to talk about is prints. I'm not going to talk about everything that is here because I'm going to pinpoint the ones you really need for this project. Now, I talk about prints. You have finished working on your Revit, you have produced, you have completed your project. The next thing to do is to print it out in paper form. You come to print here and click on print to do that. Then again, if you want to close your work, the file, you still use this close to close it. But most times I don't come here. I simply come here at the top right corner here. You still see this close here. You can use it to close your work. That is about application menu. The next thing I have to tell you about is the quick access bar. Quick access bar. This is it. You can see this row here. This row, this number of tools is what we call the quick access bar. What is the quick access bar? The quick access bar simply is a collection of most frequently used tools in Revit. As far as Revit is concerned, there are some tools that you use most of the time than every other tool. They now collected them and arranged them here so that you can access them as fast as possible. This very row you are seeing here, you can see open, you can see save, you can see synchronize, and so. You can see undo, redo, and the rest of them. That is the quick access bar. The next one we have to talk about is the tabs. T-A-B-S. T-A-B-S. The tabs. The tabs simply means is a kind of a tools box for those who are working in maybe, for example, the mechanic workshop. They have what they call tools box. Now, this architecture, structure, systems insert, they are all called tabs. They are like tools box that comprises a lot of tools inside them. When you click on architecture tab, all the tools that are found inside it will be unveiled. For example, now you can see this white background. All these things you are seeing under this white background represent the tools you can find inside architecture tab. If I click on structure, for example, now it will change. The background will carry another set of tools. This set of tools are found inside structure tools box. Never mind the language I'm using. The tools box is my own creation to make it easier for understanding. Now, if I also click on systems, another set of tools will come out. Why am I saying this? Or why am I even explaining this in the first place? I'm explaining this for you to know that you don't just come to Revit environment and start working. Or I'm explaining this for you not to make the mistake I made. When I was learning Revit, when I open the system, I'll get overwhelmed by the number of tools, everything that is confronting me. But when you have the understanding that all these things you are seeing are like tools that are being kept inside tools box, whereby any particular tools you want to use, you go to the tools box that contains it and search for it. Are you getting it now? The tools you have in architecture tab is not the tools you have in structure, and it will be wrong for you to want to perform an action or an operation that will require a tool that are under architecture, and you went and you are looking for it under systems. You can never find that tools. You can never find it. So if you have the understanding that if you need any particular tool, there is a tool box you have to go direct to. If you have that understanding, you won't have any problem working with Revit. So we have insert, we have annotate, we have analyze, we have massing and cite, and so on and so forth. But I will tell you that architecture tab is the most frequently used. Under architecture tab, you have things like wall. If you want to build your wall, if you want to install a door, if you want to install a window, all these things under architecture, you need them. But it doesn't mean you don't use all these other ones. But the architecture tab, as far as I'm concerned, is the most frequently used tab in Revit. Now, having explained that, I have to talk about what we call ribbon. Now, the ribbon and the tab, they work hand in hand. I told you that, for example, when you click on architecture tab, it brings some tools that are located inside it. Now, those tools that are located inside it, like this white background now, are called the ribbon. They are called what? The ribbon. So, I don't need to explain much about that. Just know that the ribbon is found inside the tab. The tab houses the ribbon. The ribbon cannot come out except you click on the tab to reveal it. That is that. Then another one I have to discuss about is this. Let me maximize this first. Okay. The next thing I have to talk about is this. Can you see this compartment now? This compartment is called the project browser. The project browser. Under the project browser, you are given the power to navigate or to switch between different views. For example, you are working, maybe here now, this white background is where you do your work. You are working on a floor plan, and along the line, you want to switch, or maybe you want to do something on the elevation. I definitely now. You have to go to the project browser and locate elevation. Precisely the elevation you want to work on, be it east, north, south, or west. Double click on that particular elevation. For example, now if I double click on south elevation, it will bring the elevation view for me. The plan view will be displaced. If I want to go back to the plan view again, I go to floor plans and double click on level 1. The plan will come out. How do you know when you are in plan? When you see these 4 different arrows, these arrows, they are called the elevation markers. These 4 arrows are called the elevation markers. And whenever you see them, just know that you are on plan view. Okay? Then, if you want to know when you are on the elevation view, when you double click on the elevation, you see these lines, this dashed line. They are called the elevation markers. It shows you the different levels of that building. Whenever you see this, know that you are on the elevation view. So what this project browser helps you to do is to navigate or to switch between different kinds of views. Let me go back to the plan view again. Having discussed about that, the next thing I have to talk about is this. This is called the properties. Now, every object you draw on this your computer while using the Revit, that object or that element has properties. Properties simply means the things that make up that object. For example, if you are building a house, the house has properties. The walls, the windows, the roof, all these are the properties. But now you mirror it down to the individual objects or components of that building. Let's take, for example, the door. The door has components like the thickness of the door, the color of the door, the material that is used to make the door, the height of the door, the wideness of the door. And all those things can be changed or edited. How do you edit the different properties of a component? You edit it under properties dialog. So everything you need to, if you cannot see anything here because you have not drawn anything yet. By the time we start drawing now, if we draw or we place a door and click on that door, all the properties of that door will be revealed here. And if you want to make any changes on any one you don't want, you can make changes under properties. Why am I explaining this? So that you do not run into the situation whereby you want to edit the properties of your door or your window or your roof, and you went to project browser to look for where to edit it. No, you won't find anything there until you come to properties. So know which is which and where to go to get what. So that is about that. Having said that, the next thing I have to talk about is this white background. Now, this white background is your working space or your drawing area. This is where you do all your work. Whatever you want to draw in Revit, this is where you do it. And I also advise you to always draw your building within these 4 elevation markers. If you draw outside any of them, if you draw outside this space, maybe you draw outside here, Revit will not be able to capture the complete elevations of your building. This one that is on top here, this one you are seeing, is covering or capturing your north elevation. This one on the left is capturing your west elevation. The one on the right is capturing your right, your east elevation, while this one down here is capturing your south elevation. And if you draw your building within the center of these 4, all the 4 elevations will be captured. That explained. We move to the next one. The next thing I have to talk about is this place. This place is very, very okay. Let me talk about this tab. This is bar you are seeing here. This is called the status bar. The status bar helps you to know what next to do. For example, you click on something and you are confused. You don't know what you clicked or what next step to take. Just look at your status bar. The status bar will tell you what you have clicked, what you should do next, So if you are confused, look at your status bar. It will give you an expo of what to do. So that would be it. Okay, now before I close on that, I have to talk about something again. You look at this. If you look at this top here, you will see this project 1 floor plan level 1. It is giving you the title of the job you are doing and the view you are at. Okay, now it is bearing project 1 because we have not saved this work and given it a name. Once we save it and give it a name, it will no longer bear project 1. It will now bear the name of the project or the client you are working for. I don't know if you get it. So we are going to save this work now. When we save this work, then we will be able to see the name. How do we save? you go to application menu, like I told you. Click on application menu, click on save. It will bring out this dialog for you. And for file name, you can see it, project 1. I don't want it to be a project 1. I want it to be the name of the project. Let's assume now that this job we are doing is a 3-bedroom bungalow, and we are doing it for the indefatigable and rugged Senator Dino Milaye is the owner of the project. You use the name of the person you are working for, so that when you want to search for it on your system, you can, with the name, you can locate it easily. So we now say Dino's project. I don't know why I'm using Dino Milaye. Maybe because I love that man so much. The man is rugged. The only man that giving APC wahala. So when you put the name Dino's project, the next thing you do is to determine where you want to save it. Is it on your desktop or on document? Because by default now it is already on my documents, but I want it to be saved on my desktop so that I can easily find it or locate it. So I come here and click desktop. After clicking on desktop, I come here now, options. I don't save yet. Some people make the mistake of rushing to go and save. I don't save yet. I click on options. When I click on options, it will bring me the maximum number of backups this job can take, which is 3. And I tell you that this 3 does not work. When you see 3, it saves, it backs up more than that. And when it backs up more than that, when you want to work next, you get confused. You get confused because there will be so many backups. You don't know which one is the latest. So I reduce it to 1. Now on my keyboard, I type 1 to change that 3. It becomes 1. When it becomes 1, I now come here and click OK. When I have clicked OK, then that is when I will now come and say save. It is saving now. Then when I have finished saving, if you now look at the project title bar, you will now see it, Dino's project. That's Dino Milaye's project, my only man. So with this now, I have to end this particular video so that it doesn't get too long. Okay, we are going to start the next one, which is going to be how to set your levels. We have been able to save the project. The next thing is to set the levels. Thank you and God bless you.